Hello, my name is Krishabati Kahar. My matrix number is 303990. I'm going to present about background of our case studies company. First Solar is an American company founded in 1994 and is one of the leading manufacturers in the global solar energy industry. Currently, the solar market is dominated by crystalline silicon panels, which make up about 95% of global usage. However, the supply chain is heavily concentrated in East Asia, especially China, which creates geopolitical risks and supply vulnerabilities. Unlike most competitors, First Solar uses a different technology known as cadmium telluride or CDTE thin film, which distinguishes the company from traditional silicon-based manufacturers. Over time, First Solar shifted its strategy from cost leadership to differentiation. This change helped Upgrade lost its cost advantage due to strong competition, especially from Chinese manufacturers. Today, the company focused on advanced technology and positions itself as a unique alternative in the market. Its thin film solar panels perform better in hot and humid climates and require less semiconductor material. In addition, First Solar emphasizes a no-China supply chain strategy to improve energy security. This company also uses highly automated production, allowing it to produce solar modules in about 4 hours. Another key strength is sustainability, where about 90% of materials can be recycled, giving the company a strong environmental reputation. Overall, First Solar's unique technology and strategy position it differently from competitors in the global solar industry.
Assalamualaikum to Dr. Muhammad Hanif. My name is Sharifah Sofia, matrix number 305584. In this section, I will discuss 3 major issues faced by First Solar that may affect its performance and long-term growth. The first issue faced by First Solar is intense competitive rivalry in the global solar industry. The company faces strong competition from Chinese manufacturers such as Longyi, Jinko Solar, and Trina Solar, which produce large volumes of low-cost silicon solar panels. This creates an oversupply in the market and drives prices down. As a result, First Solar experiences pressure on its profit margins and competitiveness. Although its CDTE thin film technology is unique, silicon panels are more widely adopted by customers, making it difficult for First Solar to expand its market share globally. The second issue is tariff and trade policy uncertainty. Changes in United States trade policies, including tariff on solar imports from countries such as Malaysia, Vietnam, and India, have increased costs for solar manufacturers. For First Solar, this tariff affect the profitability of exporting products from its manufacturing facilities in Southeast Asia. As a result, the company has reduced planned production from its factories in Malaysia and Vietnam. This uncertainty makes business planning more difficult and can negatively impact future growth. The third or last issue is weak demand and slowing growth in the clean energy sectors. First Solar has projected slower sales growth compared to previous years, showing that demand for solar modules is no longer growing as quickly. This slowdown is caused by market saturation, policy uncertainty, and supply chain disruptions. As fewer new solar projects are developed, the company faces challenges in expanding its market shares. In addition, investors' confidence has been affected, resulting in a decline in the company's share price. Although First Solar remained profitable, maintaining long-term growth may become more challenging in the future.
Next, we move to implications and drawbacks of the issue. First Solar faces intense competition from Chinese solar manufacturers such as Longi, Jinko, and Trina Solar. These companies flood the test market with low-cost solar panels, creating strong price pressure. As a result, First Solar's profitability and market share are affected. The company mainly competes in the US utility-scale market, while many customers continue to prefer silicon-based solar modules due to their widespread adoption and technological improvements. This situation also increases the risk of technological obsolescence and may reduce incentive to invest heavily in research and development. The implications of intense competition include reduced pricing power and lower profit margin. Since First Solar cannot easily increase prices, its revenue growth becomes limited. In the past, the company also faced workforce reductions and lower capacity utilization. The major drawbacks in the long-term risk of losing market share if silicon technology continues to dominate the industry and competitors maintain their economies of scale. Another major issue is tariff and trade policy uncertainties. US import duties on solar products from countries such as Malaysia, Vietnam, and India have disrupted First Solar supply chain operations. The company faces higher logistic and compliance costs while also dealing with uncertainty surrounding government policies. Although incentives such as the Inflation Reduction Act support domestic manufacturing, excessive dependence on these policies may create risk if future regulations change. The implications include higher operating costs and greater supply chain uncertainty. Profitability can fluctuate depending on the changes in trade policies and government incentives. The drawbacks include underutilized production facilities, especially in Southeast Asia, and the possibility of stranded investment if trade restrictions continue. In addition, investors may view the company as being highly exposed to trade war risks. First Solar is also facing weaker demand and slower growth in the renewable energy sector. Market saturation, project delays, and regulatory uncertainty have reduced growth opportunities. Although the company remains profitable, lower sales growth and negative investor reactions indicate challenge in maintaining strong business momentum. At the same time, competition continues to increase as more firms enter the renewable energy market. The slowdown in demand limits First Solar's ability to expand and grow its market share. Fixed operating costs continue to pressure profit margins while investors become more cautious about future growth prospects. The main drawbacks are lower company valuation, greater sensitivity to economic conditions, and also challenges in maintaining a competitive advantage against rapidly growing competitors.
Alright, moving into the strategic response, Section 4.0 explains how First Solar plans to respond to current market uncertainty. The company has identified 3 areas for growth. First, improving its technology. Second, strengthening its supply chains against geopolitical risks. And lastly, expanding into the growing AI sector. These strategies are designed to build on First Solar competitive strength while addressing the challenges created by global trade policies and the dominance of silicon-based solar panels. The first strategy presented in Section 4.1, which is increasing efficiency and product branding, focuses on maintaining First Solar's advantage over traditional silicon technology. The company is developing next-generation solar panels by adding a perovskite layer on top of its existing cadmium telluride thin film cells. This combination can significantly increase the amount of solar energy captured. To support this development, First Solar is utilizing its $2.4 billion cash reserve to accelerate research and development activities and bring perovskite thin film panels to the commercial market. In addition, the company is refining its market focus by targeting regions where its technology performs best, while traditional silicon panels lose 0.3% to 0.5% efficiency for every degree above 25 degrees Celsius. First Solar CDTE panels maintain more consistent performance in extreme heat. As a result, the company intends to focus on the US Sun Belt, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. promoting its product as a reliable solution for high temperature and high humidity environment. The second strategy discussed in section 4.2 addresses international trade uncertainty through supply chain protection. To reduce the impact of changing tariffs, including the 10% duties imposed on imports from Southeast Asia, Persona is pursuing a strategy of 100% domestic manufacturing for its key components. By sourcing glass, chemicals, and frame domestically or through trusted partners such as India and Mexico, the company can reduce dependence on imports and minimize exposure to unexpected tariff costs. This strategy also supports the domestic content requirement of the Inflation Reduction Act (IRA), allowing customers to qualify for tax incentive that many foreign competitors cannot offer. To further reduce dependence on any single country's debt policy, Persona continues to expand its global presence, including its 3.3 gigawatt manufacturing facility in Tamil Nadu, India, which enables the company to serve the world's third largest economy directly. The strategy outlined in section 4.3 focuses on expanding into the AI and data center sectors to address slower demand in traditional utility markets. With AI-related electricity consumption expected to double by 2030, these sectors require a large amount of reliable, carbon-free power. To meet this demand, Persona is securing long-term solar plus storage agreements with battery companies such as Tesla and also LG Energy Solution. In addition to generating new sales opportunities, the company is creating another source of revenue through its recycling programs. Persona advanced recycling technology can recover up to 90% of materials from end-of-life panels and convert them into valuable raw materials for new products. By providing recycling services for both its own panels and those of competitors, the company can maintain a more stable source of income that is not fully dependent on new solar projects, even during period of economic uncertainty.
Okay, so good afternoon. My name is Prabala Rudiana. My metric number is 29170. So today we're looking at Persolar. What's class in how a clean energy enterprise can survive and thrive in a hyper-competitive global market. The biggest takeaway from the journey: cost leadership alone is a trap, while competing in price inevitability leads to competition. First, Solar provided the real win lies in a strategic pivot to value-based differentiation. They didn't just try to build cheaper panels, they built more resilient business model. So the achievement is through three distinct defensive pillars. First, proprietary technology. By developing exclusive proprietary cadmium telluride thin film technology, they built a massive barrier to entry and secured their own supply chain stability. And the second one, geopolitical insulations. In an industry heavily reliant on overseas manufacturing, First Solar pioneered no China supply chain. The Berlin move shielded their operation from volatile geopolitical headwinds and aligned them perfectly with Western sovereign priorities. Third, environmental specialization. Instead of chasing every market, they target harsh weather utility needs, proving the massive profitability of optimizing hardware for undeserved high difficulty environments. So, what does the future look like, and what is the executive conclusion here? Moving forward, clean energy survival dictates predictive market agility, the ability to anticipate policy and structural shifts before they happen. But the most exciting frontier for First Solar is powering the AI infrastructure wave. By integrating solar plus storage as a dedicated utility framework for next generation data centers, they are unlocking highly predictable high margin revenue. Ultimately, the balancing act hinges on hedging volatile raw material expenses while maintaining the technical edge that justify premium pricing. First Solar's prove that utility-scale storage and specialized technology are the future, but focusing on the value over volume, they didn't just adapt to the market, they positioned themselves to lead it. Thank you. and I think that's all from our group.